Okay, I'm in front of the mirror, but you can't see it. But what I'm trying to do today is I finally figured out how tight or loose I want to have this new bow. And I found that previously with my carbon fiber bow, and even at first with this one, I was tightening the hairs too much. And I don't know if you can tell, but I have it pretty low, so I can, if I put my pinky finger sideways, you know, so the nail is facing the hair, I can just place the top half of my pinky finger in there. That'll be kind of my guide, because I can press it in the middle pretty hard and it doesn't touch the hair. The stick doesn't touch the hair. So I found that I have more control when it's looser. Previously I had thought that loosening the hair would tend to make it bounce more, but it's the opposite actually. When I have the hair tighter, I tend to bounce the bow. And so now what I'm trying to learn how to do is how to control the bow so I get nice sound. And so I saw, let's see, I can't remember whose video it was. I look at about 3 or 4 kind of teaching YouTube videos, and this guy uses a metronome set at 60, and he does pulses. 4 beats at first for the whole bow with 1 pulse, or 1 pressing down, and then 2 pulses for the whole bow, so say 2 beats of the 60 beats per minute, and then up to 4, and so on. You'll hear what I mean when I try to do this. And so it kind of gives you the feeling of having control of pressing down. I could even loosen it more probably. Pressing down the bow to get that, still get that solid sound. So I'm going to try it. Earlier today, what I was doing, I have the mirror right there. I was doing some practicing on bowing straight. And so it's different when I'm down on the G and D strings, or the C and G strings. I find that if I aim the top of the bow more towards the bridge, it's square to the string, or parallel to the bridge. Where when you're looking down this way, it looks as if you're not. It looks as if you're pointing towards the bridge, but really you're not. And then when I get further up, especially the A string, in order to keep the A string, the bow perpendicular to the A string, I've got to do the opposite. I've got to kind of point it so from my perspective it looks like I'm doing this, but really it's not. So right there I have it square to the string, even though from my perspective it looks as if the tip of my bow is pointing this way. It's kind of an illusion. So getting used to the differences there. So there, in order to stay square, I have to feel like I'm pointing my bow this way, but I'm really not. And then as I go further down, it's the opposite. So in order to stay square to the string, on the G and C string, I've got to kind of point the tip of the bow more towards the bridge. So that takes some getting used to. And staying in the center section of the string, because I tend to drift sometimes towards the fingerboard. But anyway, I did a little practice there this morning on this. So now I'm going to try that. David, I can't remember what his name is, Finckel or Finkelstein or something. Try what I just saw on his YouTube channel. Okay, I have the metronome set to 60. So 4 clicks first. I think I'll do it on the G string. So just 1 pressing down first for 4 beats. Now 2 pressing downs. So hold a strong bow tension for 2 beats at a time. And then you go twice that much. So each time there's a beat, I'm doing a pulse. Eighth notes, I guess. A pulse for each 8th note. So like da 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 da. Suppose you go to 16th notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Off the beat there. that's the basic method. So having the control, learning how to get the control so it feels solid all the way when you're doing each different variation without it sounding bouncy. But that's kind of a good exercise, I think. Billy, Tobenkin, I keep forgetting how to pronounce his name, of Adult Cello, has something not exactly similar, but he has an exercise where you go 2, 3, 4. See, this one is more concentrating, I think, on keeping your bow centered or straight. He keeps in time with the metronome on his, though, I forget. So I'll be practicing those exercises. I also downloaded a scale sheet from adultcello.com that he says is a good thing to practice. So let me take a look at that. So I'm going to put the music stand in front of me now. I'm not really using the mirror at the moment. I got a light for the stand. I don't know if you can see it, but let me show it to you. Let me put this down. So I got my music stand all outfitted. Okay, so what I've got here is, let's see if I can get it in the camera view. Yeah. So what I've got here is a little clip-on thing for my bow that I've had for a while now. This clip-on thing for the iPhone, which I use the metronome and the tuner for, and then to cast YouTube videos to the TV, which is over there. And then this is new, it just came last night. And it's kind of weird on this little fold-up music stand. It'd be more solid if I had one of those solid music stands. But still it works. So it's a Vecchia. And what you do, it's a USB rechargeable batteries. And it has 19 LEDs and different brightnesses and different color temperatures. Actually, I don't care about that. But I can clip it right, and it has a nice, it's very well made. It's very strong clip, which I was concerned because some of the clip-on lights are very cheap and they're not very strong. But this, I have to really press it to get the clip apart, and I can clip it on this top part, middle part of this stand, and it kind of makes the stand go like that, but once you have it set, you're not really moving the, the support here. And then I can do different levels of brightness. I like the brightest, but I suppose at different parts of the day you can adjust the brightness to better fit. And so I'm going to set it back up here. And then I'm going to put the scale sheet it's a downloadable C major scale, 2 octaves, and it gives you the notes and hand positions, but then here's the actual scale. So it's just practicing the fingering for C major scale. That, he says, it's a good 5-minute daily practice. So let's take a look at that. I haven't tried it yet. And I think he does it, yeah, at 60. Five-minute C major scale routine. Okay, let's see. Let's wipe off the strings. I love my new bow, especially now that I've kind of figured out how tight I want to do it and what works. Can't wait till my cello bow case comes. I'll feel much more secure. Okay, let's turn on the metronome. 60 beats per minute. He has half notes. 2, 3, 4. sharp on the C string, huh? Let's try that slurred part. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'd be a good thing to practice every day. The different techniques, some slurring and separated notes, some half notes. Okay, so I've got a few things I can practice daily. And I'm loving this bow. I'm so glad I got it. It feels good. The hardest one is the A string, to get the angle right, and the C string, which makes sense because those are the extremes. Okay, so I've got a few things I can practice to become more disciplined. Okay, so long.